RHOBH, and I'm going to be reviewing The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 13, Episode 3. And yeah, before I begin, I just want to say, Sutton, I like you and I appreciate the person that you are. You're a sweetheart, kind, and all that. But this episode, you exhausted me. I mean, I just gotta, watching you in the one scene when they were at Magic Mike, took me back to season 11 when it was like Garcelle's outdoor birthday party. And this is when she and Crystal were not friends at that time. Like, they were still at odds. And Sutton basically had like a temper tantrum over, not knowing to get Garcelle a birthday present. And then once again, she was still having problems with Crystal. Yeah, it was just kind of like a reminder of that. And like we see that type of Sutton who feels uncomfortable and feels uptight again in this episode. Like, Sutton, like, I felt sorry for you in season 11 because I know what it's like to be around somebody that you're not too crazy about or you're not comfortable around because you don't know them yet and they make you feel uptight. I get that. I've been in that myself. But in this episode, in this season, even I was exhausted the whole time seeing that. So anyways, we begin the scene with Garcelle and Erica bonding over finding some men because they're in Vegas and they're going to be they're planning to go to Magic Mike later on, and Garcelle and Erica are bonding over like finding some men for a good time. And it's like, are Garcelle and Erica really getting closer? Like, is this what it took for Garcelle to drop her guard? Because in episode 1, she expressed that she wasn't too sure about Erica and that she's not exactly trusting of her. But she said she was willing to give her a chance. But if this scene right here was enough for her to say, hey, for her to forget what happened in the past, then hey, her decision. I guess bonding over some fine-ass men will do that to you. Bonding over trying to find some fine-ass men will help you forget the shit in the past. And the ladies are having lunch, and Garcelle is announcing a conversation about dating, mainly an intervention on behalf of Sutton over her dating troubles. And once again, the subject of her not getting a second date is brought up. Thinking back on this now, I think Sutton was trying to be a good sport, but part of me's wondering now if she feels some type of way about people piling up on, or people announcing an intervention at her expense, and she felt like maybe she was being ganged up on a bit over her problems with dating. I wonder. And Crystal, during this intervention, Crystal asked Sutton what happened with the guy that she was dating, and a picture that she sent him of both of them in the bathtub. And and like I said, it seems like it was a grilling session over why Sutton can't get a second date, and it might seem to them that it was like a good-natured type of teasing or hazing, but at the same time, I'm kind of like giving a side eye to that. 'Cause like, it kind of had like the vibes of like, let's kind of pick on Sutton a bit. Like, they're using like this good-natured girlfriends getting together thing as like a cover to get their digs in at her. That's just what I'm getting. And as far as Kyle putting her 2 cents in and Sutton just volunteering the information, it's like, I'm not sure if Sutton should be trusting Kyle with anything given their rocky history in the past. Like, because it was said last season that Kyle likes to stir the pot, and we all seen her track record concerning being all nosy and being up in other people's business. So shouldn't Sutton know better by now than to not tell Kyle certain things, knowing that she will announce it to other people or tell other people behind her back? I'm just saying. And Sutton tells the group that she invited this same person that she was dating, that I think that was in the bathtub with her. Like, she invited him to a black tie gala, and then she never heard from him again. And there was silence after that. And at first I was like, well, what's the issue with that? But that shows how little I know about dating. And honestly, I'm not really into the whole casual dating thing. I mean, it's good to know, to casually date, to know what kind of guy you want and how to go about expressing to him what you want and how, like, what to do, what not to do. But I'm not really all that into dating, so I'm not really sure what's first dating or second dating etiquette. But then again, when I was dating my now husband, there were no talks about flying to the other coast for some event. It just never crossed my mind. Like, I just never thought of doing that. Like, hey, let's go off to California. I mean, so for me, that would be extreme because, you know, I ain't got that kind of money to be spending on no ticket to fly anywhere. I'm lucky if I have enough money to go to, like, to spend in a restaurant or in a movie theater. So I guess that's just, you know, that's just me. And she also said that she invited him over to play backgammon and to have a nice conversation. And I think that's when the whole invitation to the Black Tie Gala event in New York came up that caused him to not contact her again. Maybe it's a different date. I don't know. And no offense, Sutton, but from what I've seen, it seems like there's this idea that you sound pretty boring on dates. I mean, if that's who you are, then if you're the type of person that prefers nice conversation and playing games at your house, that's fine. I just get that. It's just giving people the idea that you seem pretty boring, like, and you need to loosen up more, be more lively. But if that's not you, that's not you. And then Dorit explains to Sutton, never follow up on a second date. Never follow up with flying to another coast for an event on a second date. So apparently that's not second date behavior. I mean, hey, she would know better than me. Like I said. And I already mentioned before that there would be extreme even for me. And something more local would have been nice. And then Kyle reads from Sutton's text messages and announces the following. Your triceps look really good, which got a laugh out of Crystal and Kyle. And that right there goes back to what I was saying about Sutton not trusting Kyle with anything. This is why you don't trust Kyle with anything, Sutton. It's like, when you need to learn. She's already given a past thing where, well, they showed a scene where Kyle read one of Sutton's text messages with this class guy that she was dating. It's like, you did not learn anything from that? Like, don't tell Kyle your business because she will announce it to other people. Like, this is not the first time she's done something like that, so I don't know why she's so surprised. But I guess, once again, Sutton's being a good sport about it. And then in Garcelle and Kyle's confessions are dripping in a tone of, poor thing. No wonder Sutton can't get a date. And Garcelle, her good girlfriend, even admitted Sutton has no game. But I mean, I guess it's not meant to be in a malicious way, and I'm sure Sutton trusts that because that is her good girlfriend. But like, even Garcelle had to keep it real. Like Sutton, you need to step that up. Step it up, girl. And even Dorit puts in her 2 cents saying, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Part 2, starring Sutton Strack. Okay. Okay, it's very much agreed that Sutton can use some serious help. But it would be nice if it was in a more, like, not so subtle grilling or patronizing type of way. Because I have a feeling it's more like, I don't know if the right word is patronizing or condescending, but it's one of those two words I could think of that describes this. And then Sutton asked the question that I've honestly been wondering, like, why do I give my phone to Kyle? She's dangerous. Yeah, well, since you know that, why do you do it? Like, what were you thinking, girl? You know she's dangerous, but you gave her phone, like you knew she had the gun, yet you supplied her with the bullets. That's your problem, Suttons. Don't supply her the bullets anymore. Just don't do it. Okay, I already addressed the whole flashback of an example of why she shouldn't give her phone to Kyle. I already addressed that. And I expressed that. That's another reason why, from past experience, how to go about dealing with Kyle for future reference. Or just to not bother with her at all, because really, Kyle doesn't seem like your friend anyway. We saw that in last season. She's not your friend. Let's see. And of course, Kyle says, I don't know if it was in her confessional or to Sutton, that if a guy can't respond to a smart, beautiful, fun, and funny person like her, then that guy can go F all the way off. And I guess that's nice, but you still can't be trusted, Kyle. Sorry. And then Garcelle concurs with, yeah, they're lost. Bye. They're lost. And then Sutton responds with, unless they're very cute. And even I have to just either shake my head or hold my head in my hand like, Sutton, no. Just don't say anything else. Don't say anything. They're already on your ass about what you're doing wrong. Zip it. Alright, next scene is Dorit and Kyle talk about Crystal bringing her glam squad with her. So what? It's her birthday. She wants to have fun. Let her have her fun and glam, ladies. Yeah, it's not like Crystal, but it's her birthday. Leave her alone. Let her have her fun. Just let her. Okay. Next scene, Sun is trying to find like a certain clothing item and looks very annoyed that she can't find it, and she's about to have a bone to pick with her assistant Abby. Is it Avi or Abby? And Harrison looks visibly nervous, like, uh-oh, what did I do now? And so he looks through and he finds said item that she wanted I think it was in her closet. And then he looks pretty relieved that he found it and that he's not going to get into trouble. Even Garcelle in her confessional notices hopes that as much as Ava or Abby puts up with Sutton and her moves, he better be getting paid a good penny. A pretty penny for that. And even she notices how much Sutton freaks Abby out. Poor thing, that's all I can say. And Sutton reiterates from the last episode how much she likes being controlled, like whether it's in her dating life, her financial life, or even with her clothing. She just wants to be in control of everything and make sure everything is right in front of her. And I noticed, like, maybe this is part of why she can't get a second date. She's just so uptight. Like, everything has to be concrete. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being concrete and knowing what's right in front of you and what to expect, but it could be a little too much, and just loosen up a bit, you know. Don't get so uptight. And that's big even for me to say, because I can be uptight at times, and that's something that I can work with. So, and I know I can work. I'm working on it. Okay, Crystal has her glam squad in the room with her, who is Jessica, Deanna, and Jess, and they're just having a grand old time. And then we get a montage of the ladies sprucing and glamming up to head over to the Magic Mike Theater. And Sutton shows that she carries ocean spray grape juice in her purse. And she comments that, and it's the same way that Beyonce carries hot sauce in her purse. That's how Sutton rolls with her grapefruit juice. Fun. No comments on that. And I just want to point out here that in the last episode and part of this episode, Sutton seems very prepared and psyched to go to Magic Mike and to hopefully be on stage to dance with her time with the strippers, hence why she chose to wear pants. She even said in the last episode that she wore pants and she's wearing panties. Now let's keep note of that. Just want you to keep note of that. Oh, and she says, like, and after all, who all's gonna know about that? Aside from the viewing audience at home, who's gonna know that she's going to Magic Mike Theater? Now the second thing to keep in mind. Point number 3. Sutton has a stack of dollar bills with her, which shows even more how ready she is, how amped she is. And then Erica jokes that, don't let anybody touch the stack of dollar bills, since the tax authority will say she owes it to them. Okay. Next. And we get a glimpse of how Erica managed to get the whole Magic Mike experience together for the ladies, especially Crystal. Erica happens to have friends with them in the show. And they're some of the men that are professional dancers. It's like, oh, all right. She was arranging with them, like, can you arrange it so that the lady, my group of friends, can have the time of their life? And one of the guys said, sure, we can do that. There's no problem. And it's this scene where Erica seems to care about making this Magic Mike experience a really special one for Crystal for her birthday. It's like, especially since it's her milestone 40th birthday. Like, Erica seems to really care about this, making it special. And I have to say, that's really nice of her. I have to give my props to her. I don't care for her, but I'll give her props. Okay, they're there, and then the guys come out. Ladies are anticipating the entertainment. And again, even Sutton is anticipating the fun she's having. And it bears repeating again that she seemed ready for the experience when she screamed, we all wore pants. All right. Now, and of course the guys are doing their thing on stage, making the ladies scream and all that. Now, when one of the guys gets closer, that's when things start to get interesting. Okay. One guy picks Crystal, the guest of honor, to go on stage. And Erica, and I think it was around this time or maybe a little bit before that, maybe it was around this time, that Sutton was already looking annoyed and uncomfortable. Now, was this because that Crystal was picked to go on stage? Or was it when the guys got a little too close for comfort? Y'all be the judge, I don't know. But just want y'all, like what I mentioned before, like hours before, up to now, that Sutton was very excited about this experience. Oh, and get this. Erica is also picked to go on stage. And while they're up there, both Erica and Crystal are entertained and enjoying themselves. And this is when Sutton gets even more aggravated because Sutton snaps to Garcelle or whoever was sitting nearby that she wore her effing pants for nothing. Okay. Crystal says that jumping on one of the guys is like, and she said, jumping on one of these guys is like, oh yeah, maybe I could turn 40 every year. Oh, that is so cute. I'm really glad that she was having her fun. And like, maybe Erica was right. Maybe this was what she needed. Well, I'm glad you got it, Crystal, because you look like you were enjoying yourself, girl. Good for you. And happy belated birthday. Well, now at this point, it's becoming way too much for Sutton now. And only she can tell what's really wrong. Personally, from where I'm sitting, she seems pretty bitter that she wasn't picked. I mean, I can only get from what I watch here. And then finally Garcelle sees that something isn't right with Sutton. And that she's not having a good time anymore, and asks her, hey, is something wrong? And she figured maybe Sutton's feelings were hurt, that she wasn't one of the cool girls picked to go on stage. And I have to admit, that's kind of what I'm getting to, because you were having your fun before the guys came up. And picked Crystal and Erica to go on stage. That's what I got. And then Kyle feels Crystal. And then when Crystal comes back to sit down, Kyle fills Crystal in on what could be bothering Sutton. Because I think it's because Garcelle told Kyle that Sutton is not too happy right at the moment. So Kyle fills Crystal in on what possibly could be bothering Sutton. And even Dorit goes over to Sutton to ask if she's okay. And Sutton snaps that she's leaving. And again, like I mentioned before I started the recap, this definitely seems like deja vu from Garcelle's outdoor birthday party 2 seasons ago. And what she did in this episode is what she should have done during that moment 2 seasons ago. Just gets up and leave. Like, I mean, sure, say goodbye to Garcelle for saying, I'm sorry, I gotta go. But it was in this scene, she should have done that at the birthday party. But she would be considered rude, so that's why she didn't. But this scene right here, totally different. She just up and left because she couldn't take it anymore. And I believe Crystal noticed Sutton leaving from her question, well, what the F was that? Like, what's going on? And then as she was leaving, Sutton snaps that she's like, I'm on the board of American Ballet Foundation and doesn't do this effing ish. Like, okay, now you're bringing up the fact that you're on some board, American Ballet Foundation board? Like, Sutton, what's wrong? Like, why are you bringing this up now? And what does this have to do with you? What does this have to do with anything? Like, and I was honestly getting annoyed from the wondering and speculating. It's like, Sutton, just say what's going on. If you're jealous, just say that. If you're mad that you weren't picked, just say so. I mean, sure, you'll look pretty petty, but at least you're telling the truth, right? Because that's what it looks like to me. And then Dorit comments, now, this is another thing to keep in mind, because it's going to be used later on this episode, and you'll see why. Dorit comments that this is just typical Sutton, once again making herself the center of attention. Yeah, as opposed to people like Kyle, Erica, Renna, or you even, Dorit. Yeah, once again, keep watching. Okay, Garcelle goes out to find Sutton, and eventually she finds Sutton stewing in the girls' bathroom, or the ladies' room, and asks, what's up, what's going on? But Garcelle prefers that they take it outside of the bathroom because she doesn't feel comfortable talking in there. So they head up to the benches in the lobby. And then back in the theater, Crystal tells Erica that Sutton is very upset. And when Erica asks why, even Crystal doesn't know. And then we head back to the lobby, and Garcelle asks Sutton the very thing that I've been wondering. Like, what happened between hours ago when Sutton was anticipating going to the Magic Mike Theater to the time that she was actually enjoying herself, up until her feeling annoyed and upset. Like, and that's what I want to know. Like, what happened? Like, you wore pants, you were excited to go, you had a stack of dollar bills, and now you're all upset. When Erica and Crystal were asked to go up on stage, now you're all upset. Like, and even Sutton agrees that it was a fun show until she saw the two friends on stage with their legs open wide, and the man faces too near Erica's Lady Regent. So, your problems with the lewdness on stage? You sure that's the only thing? Yeah, I'm not. I have to be honest, I wasn't buying it, but far be it from me to be judgy, like Sutton is about to be, but what I saw was something a little different. But like I said, she was annoyed before all that, because when Erica and Crystal were brought on stage, she was just looking all like, ugh, like she was already over it. What was her excuse then? Oh, right, because she was jealous, but she's just afraid to admit it. You know what, screw it, I'm just going to say it. She was jealous that she wasn't picked. So then she mentions to Garcelle that she's on the board of the American Ballet Foundation. She doesn't have friends who get on stage and have men's faces in their crotch. Okay, again, what? Once again, why are you bringing this up, Sutton? What does you being on the board have to do with what you saw on stage? And if she's that pressed about it, why did you bother showing up to the Magic Mike Theater? Because again, on the plane, you expressed your excitement and interest about going. You expressed the fact that you had pants and panties on. And then after the lunch, you were very excited about going to the event, and you had a stack of dollar bills. And up until you got annoyed, you were laughing along with the ladies. Absolutely no mention of you being on the board of the American Ballet Foundation. Until now. I'm not buying it, Sutton. Sorry. And I have to say, and it was at this point that she was acting very judgmental. And even, I like you, Sutton, but I have to call you out. I'm sorry. You're being judgmental. And if it bothered you that much, then you should have stayed your ass in the hotel room or gone off by yourself and entertained yourself with something else. I mean, you did wear pants, which meant that you were expecting to be the one chosen to go on stage, but you weren't. Just keep it real, Sutton. Be a woman about yours. And get this, and now Kyle is one of the women picked on stage with a stripper. Oh, and get this. Kyle's not wearing pants. She's wearing a dress. Well, son, if you weren't so busy pouting and being all annoyed, you could have been one of the ladies chosen. What's up? You missed it. But I guess she's all worried about how she's going to be perceived, considering she's on the board of some dance company. Right. And anyway, Kyle's on the stage. She's wearing a dress. She's kind of like semi-leaning back or laying back, so that the male stripper is spraying whipped cream along her legs. And gee, I wonder how Mauricio, before the scene at the Sprinter van, I was wondering if Mauricio would have a problem with this or would be bothered by this at all. Just being honest. And and after that, Sutton is becoming more and more like a wet blanket at this point. And it was annoying that I had to keep rewinding to get to the part, just to get all these notes down. Because I was just getting really exhausted and irritated at this point with Sutton. And it's sad because I like her, but I gotta be honest. And she said, and once again, there's more judging. That the other ladies can laugh along, have their fun, and think it's great, but she lives by a different standard. And I'm like, Sutton, what in the world are you talking about? It's like you're going from one extreme to another. First you're talking about being on the board of the dance company. Now it's just like, I don't have friends who do that. Or like, you guys can have all the fun and you think it's great, but I live by a different standard. Like, what are you getting at? What you getting at? Are you trying to say that you made a mistake coming out at Magic Mike Theater, knowing good and well what to expect? You knew what to expect about you. I'm sure you heard about Magic Mike before, so you have to have some idea of what to expect. But you decided to come out anyway, wearing your pants, right? Let's see. And like I said, like just be a woman about yours and admit that you're bitter about not being chosen. People will respect. Maybe people will respect you better if you just admit it. And while I can relate to Sutton having a hard time articulating clearly of what's bothering her, and another thing I need to worry about, because even I fear of looking too sensitive, uptight, and irrational, because I've been told that before. And I know I could go into the whole if I knew then what I know now thing, but it's like, my message to all of you is like, even if you feel a certain way about something, feel into your feelings and don't care what people think about it. Maybe you will look too sensitive and uptight, whatever, but own your feelings. And better yet, if you feel like speaking from your heart of what's bothering you, do that. Let people think what they want to about you. Just own up to what you feel and be done with it. But in this case, she's too worried about what some board of the dance company is going to think about her. Then if that's the case, then maybe you shouldn't have gone to Magic Mike Theater. Stay in your hotel. Better yet, don't even bother coming out to Vegas. And let me just say, this is like her being worried about her being on a certain board and worrying about what people will think about her. This scene right here is very different to why she wanted to disassociate herself from Erica when she was going through her lawsuits, because that's very serious. This right here, not that serious. But if it was that serious to her, again, she shouldn't have gone. And at this point, Garcelle was sharing my sentiments, because like even she doesn't know what the hell's going on with Sutton, and even she's exhausted. It's like, girl, like this can't be real right now. Like just yeah. And now Kyle comes up and has found Sutton and Garcelle, and they're wondering what's going on, and she's wondering what's going on, and then Kyle admits to them, like, she explained that she just had whipped cream licked off of her legs. And then this is when, once again, Sutton being judgmental, saying it blurts out like that's fine with her, but she thinks it's silly and stupid. It's like, and at this point, it's like, okay, Sutton, go to your hotel room. Go to your hotel room and think about what you just said. Just go. And it's just exhausting hearing her acting judgmental, uptight, and irrational. That's just how she's coming off. And even Kyle is wondering if Sutton was just jealous because she wasn't picked on stage, and that she's jealous of the attention that the other ladies are getting from the guys. And Kyle asks her, like, are you just upset because you weren't asked to be on stage? It's obvious to me. But suddenly, immediately denies that. And defense, she says, on defense mode, she said, it's nothing to do with that or the pants situation. And we get a rewind, thanks to the producers, of what Sutton stated on the plane, what she stated during lunch, and then what she mentions in the club, saying like she wore her pants for nothing. Like even the producers are in the camp of, yes, Sutton, you are pretty jealous because you were excited about going, thinking that you were going to be picked until you weren't. Even the producers see it. So, goodness, it's just so annoying. Like when I was like writing notes down, just getting everything, I found myself writing the same things over and over again. It's like, Sutton, just stop right now. And once again, she mentions being on the board of the American Ballet Foundation. Oh wait, no. Again, she didn't mention being on the board of American Ballet Foundation while on the plane or during the lunch or when they were getting ready to go to the theater. And then Sutton just done with it and she just storms off to go get a drink. And even Garcelle, her professional, says this isn't normal. And then like they're having fun and Sutton is freaking over I don't even know what. Neither do we, Garcelle. And even Garcelle agrees that Sutton was overreacting. And she is. And she has the nerve to say, like, Hurricane Sutton is here. Like, wow, Garcelle. That got a little chuckle out of me, to be honest. And Sutton, once again, is running her mouth about her brand, which has nothing to do with anything. Sutton, fly your ass back to Beverly Hills if you're this unhappy. Just go. And now she's talking about she's uncomfortable with the environment of Magic Mike, even though she knew what it was about. And I'm not going to reiterate what I just said, three or so times. It's like, and then she brings up another thing that has nothing to do with the situation, which maybe that would explain her misplaced anger about she knows that she's not getting a second date and she does not care. And she wore the kitty sweater on her first date, and that's just who she is. Okay. While I'll say that she's just at this point she's just basically losing it and is all over the map, I think this is all her misplaced anger from the lunch/intervention over Sutton's dating troubles. So I think that's what she's really angry about, and that her feelings are hurt because of that. But yeah, you could do a little better job of working out your issues, your inner issues, and what's really bothering you. Like, and even Kyle acknowledges that she can be offended and just walk away instead of making a big scene, which really makes Sutton flabbergasted at that part. And she says, what did I do to make a big scene? You walked off. Well, first she said, you wore your pants for nothing, you snapped, and then you just walked off in a huff, and like said, like, I'm all what you're on the board of, and you don't do things like this. Okay, maybe that wasn't quite a big enough scene, but it was big enough for some people to notice. Like Kyle noticed it. Dorit even noticed it. So it was big enough if they noticed. And then, but Kyle said it was a little excessive, and I had to call her out on this. Kyle, you had to be filled in by some of the ladies of what was going on with Sutton. How would you know if it was that excessive if you actually have seen it? Okay, maybe you noticed it, but it was from secondhand gossip. Okay, not secondhand gossip, but secondhand information. And then, let's see. Like, you saw her freaking out in the lobby. That's when you realized that she was making a big deal out of it. And then Sutton exclaims, then don't follow me. And it's at this point, okay, Kyle, just leave it alone. Let her stew. Like, just end the conversation right here. And then this is where it starts up who really called somebody a bitch first. And then there was Sutton who said, don't be a bitch. And don't tell somebody that they're being excessive. And here's what Kyle brought up, and that's the same thing, which was the same thing I brought up before. You brought a stack of dollar bills for the men, which she did, and that she knew exactly where she was going and what to expect, which I mentioned already. And I have to say, like, this part's like, I cannot believe I'm actually agreeing with Kyle because she's right. And there was even a flashback of a scene of Sutton saying, y'all remember these? These are dollar bills. If only she could have remembered saying that in that very scene. Because apparently she has selective memory now. Now, Garcelle reminds Sutton, it's all just entertainment. And this is when Kyle texts Crystal that Sutton is upset and they need to go. This could be argued that this is another way for Kyle to stir up drama. But y'all be the judge if you're watching. And Kyle is also worried that Erica may have a problem with that. I don't know. And then Crystal, once she gets the text from Kyle, she tells Erica and Sutton that they need to go because Sutton is upset. And Erica's like, I don't care about that. I don't care. I want to stay and see my friends. And Dorit definitely doesn't want Crystal to go because it's her birthday. She should be having fun. But Erica says, you know what, just let her go. Let her walk off. And then we get to the scene where they're walking through the casino, and then Sutton explains again she just went to the bathroom, and it became a big deal when they followed her there, and they made it worse. Sutton, Garcelle was trying to find you because she wanted to know where you went. And once she found you, all she did was ask, what's going on with you? She was just being a friend. Now, I could understand Sutton feeling that way about Kyle because, per her track record, she hasn't been much of a friend to Sutton. And Sutton, I don't even know why you decided to go back to being her friend in the first place. You could have just cut her off, but here we are. So I can understand Sutton feeling that very way about Kyle. But to be fair, Kyle did come by to see what was wrong because she wanted to know. Now, whether or not she wanted to know just to use as gossip, that's anybody's guess. But you were overreacting, and you're overreacting now, Sutton. Sorry. And Kyle still thinks Sutton's really upset about the pants thing. And once again, Sutton says that she's not. So Kyle guesses that it's about her being on the board of the ballet company. Again, Sutton says no. It was about the performance and the integrity. Sure. Kyle reminds Sutton that she was the one that mentioned her brand, and this is where Sutton really loses it. Like, you're such a bitch. You really are. And then from that, Kyle also loses it. Like, are you kidding me? Did you not say your brand? And Sutton once again says once again, here is Kyle inserting herself into a conversation that she did not hear and that has nothing to do with her. Oh, she says to her, like, once again, here is Kyle inserting herself into a conversation she never heard and has nothing to do with her. And then this is when Kyle really goes up and says, okay, now you're being a bitch. And don't say not to be. Like, now you're being a bitch. Don't you be a bitch to me. It's just an all-out mess. And Garcelle must be way more exhausted than I am from just seeing this because she was there. And then once they get into the van, the Sprinter van, now all of a sudden Kyle softens up and expresses interest in talking to Kyle about this in a calm manner. I understand that you were in your feelings and you were like amped up before, but yeah. I would say kind of too late for that, but yeah. Feel what you feel, girl. And Kyle also agrees to talking it out calmly, but didn't appreciate Sutton calling her a bitch. And Sutton apologizes to Kyle for that. Now it's just Kyle, Sutton, and Garcelle in the vehicle waiting for the other ladies, and Crystal joins them. Erica and Dorit are still at the theater while Erica is talking to one of her male dancer friends. And Dorit admits that she had fun. And now Sutton is interested in working through her brain to articulate better what really bothered her in order to keep it from blowing up. And Garcelle echoed my sentiments. Too late. There was already a blow up, sweeties. And that also asks that Erica hasn't joined them yet. And then Garcelle in her professional brings up history of bad blood between Sutton and Erica. So she was worried about World War III happening all over again once Erica comes into the Sprinter van. And then Erica remarks like, oh, look at Sutton sitting there like Judge Judy. And Dorit wonders if they've been in the van the entire time. Okay, after the break, all the ladies are in the van now, and Sutton explains that she was just bothered by the performance on stage, and that it was perhaps too much for her. And even Erica said, like, they were going to Magic Mike, and everybody knew what to expect. Exactly. Like, you all knew, including you, Sutton. You knew it too, so let's not pretend here. And yeah. Did I just agree with Erica? No. Like, did I just agree with her? I don't even like her, but she's making sense even. And Dorit calls out Sutton for not having proper manners for leaving the theater. Like Miss Manners herself. And again, Dorit, yeah, let's make a note of this too as far as Dorit goes, because she's got a lot of nerve. And like she said that Sutton didn't have the proper manners because she left the theater and didn't bother coming back. And Sutton explains that she got upset seeing them on stage like that. And then Crystal asks how Sutton feels that nobody was that upset. And I just have to wonder, how is that relevant? Because like, just because everyone else is not upset about something doesn't mean that the one person feeling a different type of way shouldn't feel that way. Like, let people feel the way they want to feel. If it means feeling uptight, irrational, or judgmental, just let it happen. Because that's that person, not everybody else. Like, you don't have the right to control how somebody else's feels because that's not the all-around sentiment. Because that's because of the different general sentiment. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but whatever. And even Erica busts out laughing. Kind of sounds a bit obnoxious, but at the same time, it just seems pretty funny to her of how ridiculous this whole thing is. And then Kyle admits that Mauricio would not care that she was pulled on stage with the male dancer, and that he wouldn't be offended. So basically, just because he wouldn't be offended, Sutton should not. Okay? Again, Mauricio doesn't care what you do, fine. But don't use Mauricio as an excuse to tell Sutton how she should feel. Don't do that. Yeah, like I said, let Sutton, did I say Serene? Let Sutton overreact. Let her be offended. That's her problem, not yours. And then she had the nerve to throw in, and she had the nerve to throw in effect. So you never watched porn with your ex-husband before? And that's when I realized, okay, is this going to be another grilling session for Sutton where they just pile up on her? I mean, yeah, she was uptight, but let's not be just as ugly and do this right now. And Garcelle in her confessional said, she had sex, right? Like, did Sutton have a stork? I know she was trying to throw shade and all that, but it's like, now's not the time. Like Sutton's already feeling sensitive and sensitive as it is. Like, let's not do this. I mean, yeah, like I said, Sutton was wrong for throwing judgments, but the roast session is just not necessary. And then after that Sprinter van conversation, they came back to their hotel, and then Erica asked, wait, were they going? No, they didn't go to the hotel yet. Erica had a minor side conversation. I think they were going to the restaurant, and Erica had a minor conversation with, oh shit, it's 15 minutes. Let me hurry this up. Erica had a side conversation with Garcelle asking if she was offended by the whole thing. And it don't matter at this point. Like, just because y'all were not offended doesn't mean Sutton shares that same sentiment. It is what it is. I'm not defending Sutton, but she just was offended. Let her be offended. So the ladies head off to this Japanese restaurant called, I forgot what it was called. But it was there that Sutton apologized to Erica and means it. And Erica, she says she knows that Sutton's sorry and she's good. Which makes some of the ladies are confused. It's like even Dorit was like, Dorit was wondering, Dorit says that she doesn't know this Erica because she was used to the past Erica that would blow up in somebody's face or point in somebody's face. And this new Erica is not the one that they're used to. And even Kyle wondered, where was the snippy, finger-pointing, nasty-acting Erica that they were expecting? And this shows me right here that even the ladies aren't really sure about this new Erica. Like, and they're not sure if they trust that this is the new her. And people talk about their plans for the next day. Garcelle plans to see her oldest son Oliver. Someone asked her about his divorce, and then she says that it's almost done. Sutton acknowledges the strength Garcelle has to handle everything as it concerns her boys, whether it be Oliver's divorce or what some of the ladies subjected Jax through. And even Garcelle acknowledges that she tries, and then there's a moment that she cries about it. And even Dorit and another thing for later, Dorit mentions the hardships that Oliver went through. Well, at first she had to ask Garcelle to forgive her for mentioning the hardship that Oliver has been through, but that she was strong to go through it. Let's keep that one in mind too. Because then Garcelle segues into expressing, wait what was this? Oh, it was in her confessional that Garcelle talks about how she doesn't trust speaking to the ladies about her children. And she has every right to feel that way. Per the track record of some of the ladies, Dorit, Kyle, and Erica. Oh, and Diana, but she's not here. Good riddance for that. And she's not sure that the ladies are ready to have a genuine conversation about it. So therefore she wouldn't trust it anyway. Sutton is attempting to eat a fish ball, and the ladies are looking at her, eating it awkwardly. And then Kyle tries to make it to a joke that she feels offended by that. Kyle, shut your mouth. Alright? You said enough. And then someone said that she understands better why Sutton doesn't get a second date. I'm thinking, oh Lord. Is this more of a grilling session? And then Erica includes in her confessional, I don't know if it's a confessional or at the table, no second date, no wonder. All right, we get it. She has work to do. She wants a second date. Can you back off, please? Thank you. And then a card game is now in session regarding sex and dating. And Kyle, I have to say, she was very rude, making a joke at Sutton's expense about why she stormed out of Magic Mike Theater. Again, Kyle, shut it. Okay? And Crystal's question to Dorit is about how, Like, I think Crystal or someone said, like, someone told her she had perfect nipples. And then Dorit says she was told the same thing. And Crystal quips in her confessional, like, Dorit, how would you know what a perfect nipple looks like when you haven't seen a real body part in 10 years? Yikes. Woo, the shade. And then the question about sex toys gets things going. Like, this is the question. What sex toys do you own? And Sutton says that she owns a lot. Not exactly a direct answer, but it got the ladies' eyebrows raised all the same. And then Dorit calls her Dr. Jekyll, Miss Strack. And then they head to the hotel rooms, and then Dorit and Kyle take the time to bitch about Sutton between how she acted in the theater to dinner time when she was more loosened up. Like, ladies, leave it alone. Leave Sutton alone. All right? We've had enough. But I have to say, I kind of see why they're bitching about her, but at the same time, give it up. And then Sutton gives a tip that using too many vibrators can mess up. Using vibrators too much can mess up a woman's clitoris. Now, I don't know if it's something that she heard or if she has firsthand experience with that, but okay, Sutton. Oh, and look at this. The next morning, Kyle gets up early to go work out. Big deal. Dorit has something to say about it, and it's like, whoa, looks like Sutton's not the only judgmental one in this group, huh? Let Kyle get her workout on as early as she wants to, okay? I don't know if this is her getting back at Kyle for mentioning Dorit dressing up in glam at Denise's pizza and ice cream party. But, Dorit, you didn't like when Kyle had something to say about you and your glam. Why are you saying something about her getting her workout on at whatever hour that she wants to? Let it go. And it was at breakfast, Garcelle decides to open up to the ladies and tell them, she wasn't all the way genuine about what she really wanted to tell them. So, like, she said she wasn't comfortable, she wasn't comfortable about the conversation regarding her children, and she said in her confessional that she doesn't trust the ladies as it concerns her children. And she felt disingenuous because she didn't say what she really felt. Now, I have to say, when I first saw the clip of her saying that she doesn't trust the ladies around as it concerns her children, the initial words I got into my mind were deja vu. Because it reminds me of another former housewife who had a conversation with the ladies as it concerns her children. The discomfort that she felt. And she had to speak her mind. And who was this ex-housewife? Denise Richards. What season was this? Season 10. And it was when she expressed to the ladies that she didn't appreciate the conversation regarding threesomes with the children within the earshot. Now, mind you, even if the kids were laughing along and didn't consider it a big deal, Denise wanted to set her boundaries, just like Garcelle was trying to set her boundaries. Now, the subject of conversations may have been different, but the concern of the children was the same. And did the ladies respect boundaries? No, they didn't. There was pushback towards Denise, and now pushback with Garcelle. Thanks to who? Dorit. And now Dorit is all annoyed that Garcelle is bothered by what happened. And obviously Garcelle is still bothered by not only Erica telling her son Jack to get the F out of here for no reason at all. Garcelle is also bothered that Dorit, Kyle, and their respective husbands were laughing at Erica telling her son Jack to get the F out of here. And while she acknowledges that Erica and Kyle did apologize, that does not mean that she has forgotten or completely forgives. And I understand that. Because you ladies showed her Show Garcelle how you really feel about her and her children. So she has the right to feel that way. And Dorit had the nerve to deny laughing at Jax. Here's the thing, Dorit. You may have been laughing at what Erica said, and you thought that she was just having her fun because she was drunk. But what she said was directed at Jax, and you all still laughed. Maybe not outright laughing, but you sat back and listened to them laugh. Oh, and did I mention, you even remarked that it wasn't your child that Erica was going off on. So, you really think that makes you any better? Because it doesn't. And there was even a clip of all of you laughing along and laughing along about it. So, Dorit, spare us. You're just as culpable. Own it. Dorit says in her confessional that she thought it was settled a year ago. First of all, if Garcelle is still bothered by it, she has a right to feel her guard up, no matter how many years have passed by. Number 2, if you call someone your friend, shouldn't you know that there's certain boundaries you do not cross? Number 3, well, Erica's definitely guilty of number 2. Number 3, some of the ladies have shown their asses and shown that they don't give a damn about Garcelle or their family. And it's a done, and for that, as far as the trust being broken, it's a done deal. And number 4, Dorit, where do you get off telling somebody to forget what happened a year ago? Your robbery happened a year ago, and yet you're still harping about that. Why can't you let it go? Because it still bothers you, and it's traumatic for you. Just like what happened with Garcelle and her son Jax, is traumatizing to her, and she has a right to feel that way. Maybe you guys shouldn't have harped on her the way you did. And not just about what happened with Jax, but Dorit, you had the nerve to call Garcelle a bully for daring to be direct with you. When you should have been calling Erica out for her bullying behavior, but you didn't. Why? Because somewhere deep down you have to be scared of her. Why did you have enough gall to call Garcelle a bully when she wasn't, but you couldn't call Erica a bully when she was acting that way? Answer that. And how dare you be angry at Garcelle for attempting to set boundaries? And clearly, you don't deserve Garcelle's friendship if you can't respect her boundaries. Sorry. I mean, in her confessional, had a tone dripping up. How dare she say that she doesn't trust us with her family? How dare you implicate that? How dare you suggest a thing? Get out of here, Dorit. And you had the nerve to say, and I'm saving it for last, and she had the nerve to say that Dorit trying to make herself the center of attention and make it all about her. And I'm not denying it. Sutton did do that. But Dorit, what makes you any better? You aren't. In fact, you're just as bad as Sutton is. And so is Kyle, and so is Erica. So please, check your own flaws first. And that's all I have to say about this episode. Later.